All right.
Okay. Yeah. So we managed to meet. Thank you for being able to go on Monday. And we can start. So I guess let's start with the questions. So, yeah. So how does Amy's behavior reflect symptoms of personality disorders, and which one exactly do you think she has? So, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I Google it, like what type of disorder she has. Is it like ASPD symptom? Basically, like
What?
it's called ASPD. ASPD.
Uh, which one is it?
I
It's her
think it's
personality disorder.
antisocial.
Yeah, and yeah, antisocial. I don't remember what it is, but it's like antisocial something.
Mm-hmm.
I think that she also had a narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think, yeah. And also, this I was not sure the histrionic of wanting to be in the center of attention because like sh I don't know if like that was what she initially wanted, but I think once she saw herself on the TV and saw that she was famous, suddenly she didn't want to die because like she was suddenly satisfied that she's in the center of attention, unlike before. So this maybe also. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she had um, the combination of all of the. I'm sorry, Maxim. It echoes. Can you
Oh,
speak?
okay. Okay. I'll keep muted.
Okay, thank you so much. She has the combination. I didn't like when I watched it. I didn't label it as narcissistic or the antisocial or OCD, but I just kept looking for the symptoms that had all of these above, like the lack of empathy, the tremendous selfishness.
Mm.
That's I think she mostly goes into the narcissistic, but I think she has all of the above, as you said.
I agree. And also, since she was really intelligent, she was able to manipulate people. She thought everything through. So, yeah. And the lack of empathy, definitely.
Mm. I think also this like yeah, I mean there are many examples of the film with the empathy that she kills the guy and yeah and puts herself with it in the center of attention. And it was also interesting for me uh uh to see I think about the antisocial. It was written that it tends to show up in childhood already. I think it was a bit like influence from her parents because like when she first met with Nick, they were seeing these books about the amazing Amy, and she was telling like she did this, I did not. She could, I did not. And I think it was also influenced by her parents. So I think like a part of the reason she has this are her parents also.
Hmm. I also think she has some psychopathic tendencies. A psychopath isn't a disorder, as I read somewhere. I don't know. But it takes this big drive and intelligence and just resilience to really do this stuff, just to plan it. I'm glad I can plan my day, to plan to frame some to frame my husband today. That's a big drive of her. So I think
Yeah,
that kind of like goes into the psychopathic spheres, I would say.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what do you think are like the specific examples besides, for example, the planning that she planned everything? Was there something else in her behavior that showed that she has the personality disorder and that it's not some
I mean,
like
I feel
normal
like
personality?
her lying to people because she repeatedly lying to everyone. So that's also like a personal disorder, I would say. Yeah, yeah. She only use them for her personal benefits, or
Oh,
Hmm.
Hmm. I think there's also this extreme sensitivity towards rejection, because her husband Nick, was it, he cheated on her, and she's amazing Amy. Like, how could he cheat on her? So this was kind of a rejection towards her, and I think that was the fuel to the drive to do all of this.
I was like hating on it until I found out she's alive. I was like, oh, this guy's really bad, and then she's alive, and she planned everything. And now I don't even know who to hate.
So I think nobody's perfect.
Yeah, he's not a good person, definitely for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, so let's go on. So, how does her disorder impact her relationships with those around her, especially with her husband? So, something we already said, but is there something more?
And the lack of trust to each other, because she don't trust her husband. You know, she's always scared that he's gonna do something to her. She's always paranoid that it's like he's violent, even though he's not. So I think the lack of trust between them.
This this reminds me of what I was thinking about today. That at first the movie was like sometimes from the point of view of Nick and sometimes from her point of view. And so when it was like from her point of view, we could see that like he was beating her and so.
Yeah,
But like at the end, when they were both there, like I wasn't sure, like because it was like both of them there, and then at this moment where I think it was when she gave him this pregnancy test or so, like he pinned her up to the wall, like really beating her head, and I was really not sure if it was true or not. So sometimes it really got me like confused if this really happened or is this just something she came up with. I don't know.
yeah, because she wrote a lot of fake stuff in her diary too, right? Like in her diary, most of the
Mm,
things that she wrote are like no truth. She just planned it ahead to frame her husband,
mm,
which is really confusing for me too. Yeah, I agree.
I think in general she just saw him as not even as a partner, but she just wanted to use him to have like the perfect life and everything. So basically, she was manipulating, and she just viewed him as a character in her story, or not even a partner.
That's also true.
Yeah, she idolized him, trying to be a cool girl for him, and then when Nick fails to be a perfect man, she wants revenge.
Mhm. As Stepan said right now, I think it's a performance of hers. She's not feeling the connection with her husband, she's performing it. And if he doesn't play her way, that's when her controls, goes down, and her love isn't unconditional, it's conditional. It's love until he's playing the role he should play. So I think that's the real impact of the relationship she had with him.
I was also thinking that sometimes I don't know if she also knew what, I mean, many times probably she knew what she was doing, but for example, there was this thing that Nick said that she did not want kids, but from her perspective, we saw that it was the other way. So in the end, I also wasn't sure like what was true and what not. I don't know. Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you because to plan all of this, it takes a big delusion. You know, she had so much confidence in herself, so I would believe him too, even though he was, cheating on her. Men do mistakes, so she was absolutely delusional.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, the control he had to have.
Yeah, that's true. Could be. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so the next question is what do you think contributed to her development of her personality disorder? So I mentioned the parents. Do you have some other idea?
I think maybe except like it was both that they created the amazing Amy, and they made her better than the actual Amy, so she
Hmm.
wanted to maybe live up to the standard, but also her parents seemed kind of distant, and I guess like they were so into the amazing Amy that maybe they didn't like emotionally give her what she needed as a child to the actual Amy. So I think that played a role in her personality.
That's true. I think they were only using her for the fame and the money that she made for them. They didn't really care about what real Amy feel or like want.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it goes hand by hand or hand in hand with the conditional love, as I said before, because they loved her, her parents, or even the public eye. I don't know. They loved her for her image. You know, she was this amazing Amy, and they didn't love her for her internal thoughts, emotions, personality, whatever. They just loved the surface of it. So that's what she was taught, also, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. And do you think there was something other than her parents that contributed to the development of it?
Hmm. I don't really see anyone in her life because we only know about her parents. Other than that, we don't really meet anyone in her life. So
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the parents were the main
main
source,
subject, yeah.
and also that taught her to, you know, to have small empathy, I would say, and lack of emotion and everything. So that maybe had the impact of not, of not her able to really connect with human beings. I don't know, if you have zero empathy, you can't, you know, connect with something. I have big empathy and I can connect, you know, with a tree. So
Hmm.
I think
But
that's the
the
main effect also.
yeah.
True. In the diary, yeah.
And so the amazing yeah. No, I just wanted to ask, so it was written by her parents, the book? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And her parents forced her to act like Amazing Amy, right, in front of the reporter or something. Like they forced her to be like this Amazing Amy.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so is Amy the victim or the villain? And could blurring the lines between these two be a common theme in personality disorders?
I think she is both. So I would say the film definitely blurs the lines, in my opinion, because, well, she is the victim, as we said, because of her parents. She couldn't choose anything else. We cannot choose our family. And because of this disorder, she is kind of like the victim of the disorder, I would say, because it impacts her life and it's untreated, I guess. But also, she is the villain because obviously she planned everything and, well, she staged the kidnapping and stuff. So I think she is both.
Yeah, I agree. I think it her social soccer that made her the villain, but also like her parent that made her the villain, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Maxim. Um, I think if she had a little bit more of empathy, she could be a victim, because who feels pain and has no empathy causes pain also. So if she had some a little bit of empathy, I don't think she would cause pain, but she would only, you know, have the pain.
Do you know someone in real life, or have you seen some other movie with like this topic to give another perspective on this?
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have someone in real life that she's not clinically like she's not clinically a narcissist, but I strongly believe she is. It's an ex-friend of my mom, and they grew up with together, and she had a daughter. She has a daughter, and she's a little bit younger than me, and she's not an amazing Amy, I would say. The mom's friend, ex-friend, she really was jealous always of like my mom having me as a daughter, and she always wanted her daughter to be like me. And I said to my mom like 5 years ago, I said, cut her off. That's toxic. That's dangerous. Thank God she listened to me. So yeah, she cut her off. But she's acting crazy t- towards like today. So I think he he could be a narcissist.
Hmm. But so were there like some other symptoms than just wanting her daughter to be like you, or?
Yeah, it's I would say she's an extremist. She would really put pressure on her daughter to do things, to study something she didn't want to study, and go to do hobbies she didn't want to do, or even invite her, uh, like go into her phone, just no boundaries. You know, I think that's kind of condescending. Like, I don't know. It's a long story. I would go on and go on, but who knows?
Yeah.
I also know someone with borderline personality disorder, and it's my very close friend. It's a bit different than the narcissist personality disorder, but he's in therapy and he is actually very empathetic. So, as we said in Amy, the main thing was basically the lack of empathy towards anyone, and that made her hurt other people. So I think really treated personality disorders, and when someone wants to control it, maybe it's very individual, of course. He was just like, for example, experiencing really strong mood swings all the time. It was mostly like bad for him, I would say. So yeah, but I think the lack of empathy in Amy was really the thing that made her do what she did.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Good. So now more in general, how are personality disorders related to our childhood? Well, I think we already mentioned it a lot.
Similar question. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess the way that you like it really is all your parents, as we said. I don't want to repeat stuff, but I guess it's like the way they were showing you love is basically how you will try to get it later in life. So yeah, in case of Amy, she just wanted to have the perfect life and everything. She wanted everything to be perfect because maybe she thought in when she achieves that, she will be loved or she will be accepted and happy. But obviously it's like an illusion that she built up in her head. But yeah, the parents definitely play a huge role, because it's literally a personality. Your personality just develops different way because of how your closest people treated you.
Can I ask you guys something? Like, what is like the classic necessity for a child to develop normally? What do you think is like a necessity for a child to develop normally? Like, because we're
I
talking
guess
about like the love from the
yeah.
parent instead, right? So what do you think?
I guess I mean this is probably a really complicated topic, but like receive some love and like support, not be abandoned, like to receive enough food, enough like the physical things you need as a person, but also like the emotional like love, then also support, but also for the parents to not be like putting much pressure on you, but also not too little. I think it's complicated, but I think even like some people who maybe have not like received the ideal amount of things did not all of them like have
Turns
these
out to be bad,
personality
right? Yeah.
disorders. So I don't know.
Also education, right? They also need education. Would you say
Yeah,
that?
education, and you need to teach them to moral and boundaries.
True.
Oh, yeah.
I think it also depends on the personality of the child. You know, you can have golden parents and be a,
You can still be a douche, but yeah.
yeah. So if you have tendencies to be a narcissist, you probably would be. So
Yeah. And also, yeah, go on.
True.
Yeah, that's true. And also, it was somewhere mentioned that it's also partly genetic. So, I mean, if your parents have the disorder, then maybe you're also more likely to have it. Yeah. And the question is also for like if if later really Nick and Amy they're going to have this child, like how how will Amy, care for the child? This I cannot imagine. If she has this personality disorder, wh- in what kind of environment will the child grow up? Yeah. Yeah, could be. And then Amy will transfer it on and it doesn't. Well, yeah, that's it. So maybe the last question, I think it's also important. If there is anything we can do to cure those disorders.
I don't think pure is the word. I don't. I
I
don't
don't know.
think you.
I just you just gotta treat the person like a normal human being. I don't know. 'Cause
Yeah,
how are you gonna cure? Like you cannot call that as a disease. I would say that's not a disease.
Well, I don't know. There was one thing like the dialectical behavioral therapy in the theory that like they talk about the stuff. I don't remember what it was about, but I'm sure they're like the doctors are trying to do something. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, but
Can I say some guys? I'm sorry, I need to leave because otherwise I'm not gonna make it. To the MOI office. It's really important, so I'm going to leave.
Yep.
Thank you.
All good. All good.
sure.
Okay.
Bye. See you
Bye
next
bye.
week.
See you.
Yes, so I was just gonna say that I agree there is no cure, there's only treatment and therapy, various kinds of therapy. But also, for example, thinking about Amy or people with like narcissist or even psychopathic tendencies, I would say they might reject therapy or anything that they might not accept or even acknowledge the problem. So that's another case because they would never admit that like they're in the wrong or they don't even realize. So there's another thing that sometimes it's very hard to get them to even think about how what they are doing to others or that there might be a problem.
yeah, I absolutely agree with Maxim. I think that you can't cure these disorders because it's not a flu. You can catch it. It's something that grows within you, and I think the self-reflection is the biggest like medicine to this. So you can just be present, look at yourself, your actions, how it um, influences others. So I think self-reflection is the biggest like green light into this, into therapy, into seeking help, etc.
Hmm.
But what about symptoms like depression or aggression? You can this cure by medication and psychotherapy, yeah, to stabilize it.
Yeah, you can also go a holistic way. I read something about Reiki therapy and regression therapy. So not only Western medicine, but also this holistic way also can help these people with illnesses.
No, uh, I was just thinking about like to help with this constant lying. If like how to help this that. Uh, and I was thinking to again doing like through the diary that for example the person with the personality disorder lived some even then also other people lived through, and they put it in a diary, and the other people also, and then they compare it to see if, like, for the person with the personality disorder, it was something else than in for all of the other people, to for like them to realize that what they are living in is not true. I don't know if that's understandable for them, like, to see the perspective of others. I don't know. Yeah. Does anyone? Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. I think the first step is for the people to, like, for someone to tell them that they have this disorder if they don't realize it themselves, and for them to, like, receive it in a good way and not be denying. Yeah. Okay. Are we done? Okay, good. Then we're done, and I think we have only one more, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
There is like something like one more lecture before Christmas, or one more.
I'm not sure. We will see.
I don't know. I don't know.
But how does it show that they're narcissists? Like, do they talk about themselves or? Okay.
Sorry, I think this cue into the narcissistic disorder is that they are performers. I I picked it up in this movie. I picked it up from the mom's ex best friend, that they perform to the outer people, not to their family. Family knows, you know, what they are, but other people, they are performers. They have this and everything. So yeah.
Yes, and also I just wanted to add about therapy. I think really if someone just goes to therapy, it's like great, because that's literally all you have to do, go there, and also your therapist will not convince you or whatever that you have this disorder. It's more likely that they will just show you and obviously do tests and everything, talk to you, but they will just make you realize your behavior not from your own perspective, but how it actually looks. And eventually you might be able to be like, wow, actually I'm harming others with this. Why do I think like that? And just a lot of self-reflection and some coping mechanism for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
All right.
That's nice. And then probably next time if it's a movie still.
Mm.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. See you.